right, welcome. We are live. Same old argument. Islam was sent to Ishmael. Let me add some people. Let me bring some people in real quick. Hold on, y'all. Let's see if anybody available. Give me a minute. Bring in some head busters. Let's see. Still here. Give me a second. This is the first live stream, everybody. And we talk about Ishmael. Let's see. I had to drop it right here. Oh, yeah, he's here. Okay. All right. What's going on, Mr. Moore?
Assalamu alaikum. What's going on, fam?
Oh, pretty good. Walaikum salam. Yeah, man. I titled this same old argument. Islam was sent to Ishmael. What you think about that, man?
So for me, I try to take people to Genesis 14 in the book of Hebrews 7, where it talks about Melchizedek being the king and priest of Shalem. Right. Then in the Hebrews to let you know that it, which is the king of peace. It lets you know that Shalem means peace there. And so basically that's the religion of Abraham and Melchizedek is Shalem. So Islam is the Arabic rendition of the Hebrew word Shalem, as I see it.
Exactly. Because Abraham gave a tenth of his wealth to Melchizedek, right?
Facts.
Right. You think they'll get it? Or they just have to, then you got it?
Some will, some won't. Some definitely will, some definitely won't. The more they get introduced to it, the more they get familiarized with it, and the more they hear the Quran from a Torah perspective. Let me say this, right? After building with I used to build with a bunch of Muslims over in the UK, Sunnis, Shias, Sufis, etc., whatnot. And a Sunni Sufi brother came up to me one day. He was like, "Man," we was building on the Hangouts, and he was like, "Yo, bro," he's like, "Man, you keep showing me the previous scriptures and how it relates to the Quran." He's like, "I'm finally understanding." He was like, "Because you're a person of the previous scripture," he's like, "You have a better foundation of understanding this thing than I do." Right. I was like, "Yup." I was like, "Yeah, I got you got one half of the instruction manual. I got the instruction manual, the instruction manual." You know what I'm saying? So like, right. So yeah. So when I put them together, so for instance, in the Quran it says that the Quran is a criterion or a statute book. And it says the Torah is a criterion in the statute book,
right?
And it says that if you're faithful to Allah, if you believe in Allah, that He will make you a furqan, a singular furqan, right? So a lot of people don't know that the books fit together hand in glove and whatnot.
Right. What's going on, brother Kareem? Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. What's going on, y'all?
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, man. This is the first live stream I didn't really promote it, so you might not have that many people, but it'll grow. We'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So what's up? I don't have no topic really today, but I'm gonna start doing live streams and teaching, and then like having a question answer at the end. But right now, I'm just getting familiar with it.
Well, I mean, briefly, we could discuss this one, some general topics, something that's on my mind right now specifically. Is y'all heard about this police shooting?
Oh yeah, what happened? Another one?
Which one?
Well, no. So a guy in California came up on two officers that were sitting in the car, and he shot them. He shot them in the head and
Mm.
ran off. It's all over the news. I think this happened last night.
Okay. Well, you know, when we say it was in California, what city?
I think Los Angeles. I believe.
Wasn't it two cops that got shot?
Yeah, the cops that got shot. Exactly.
Dang.
Just Google it real quick. Yeah, they got the videos out there and everything.
What? Did they
Yeah.
catch the guy?
Nope.
Oh, that's crazy. Was
And
it one? It
it
was one or two. It was one person.
It was Los Angeles. It was one dude. He just came up to the car they were sitting in, and he just fired off on them. It was in Los Angeles, but it reminded me of I think it was in Fall of America that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the fighting would break out in Los Angeles. And I'm always just cognizant of that verse, and well, not that verse, but him saying that, and just already that's the area where they got a lot of gang activity and all that kind of stuff. But at some point, clearly it's going to turn as more black people get killed, as different things happen. At some point, the gangbangers' mind is going to start to change.
Right.
And this just reminded me of that. So that's just why I brought it up. That was just what was on my mind.
Right. So you think their mind gonna change and they're gonna turn against the police?
I mean, I'll say this. If things keep going the way they're going, I mean, they not gonna have no choice. It ain't gonna be too many more black people left.
Right.
So, but like I said, that's just something that was on my mind because it's all over the news and it's on my Facebook feed as well.
Hey, I'm gonna check that out, man. I'm gonna check that out. Whew, it's crazy. So, all right. So when that happens, what do you think? It's gonna be a bunch of people locked up, or who you think will win?
Well, I mean, when he said it, it was in context of the fall of America.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he was saying that was like one of the signs that that the fall of America, pretty much.
Right. Bloodshed. A lot of bloodshed, right?
That was going to be one of the first things that was going to break out. The fighting would start in Los Angeles. To him, that's what he said was one of the signs that that the fall is coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's on its way. Definitely is on its way.
But
That's a good
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Was that more?
No, I wasn't saying anything. I was just chilling.
No. I said that's a good topic, man. Anything else?
What else?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to touch back on what you were originally talking about in terms of like the Israelites being kind of standoffish on the Ishmael concept or whatnot, or how Ishmael relates to the scrolls and whatnot. And I wanted to, I was like to remind people about the Genesis 17 concept, like I was telling you the other night, last night, about Genesis 17 and Genesis 21, etc. Where yes, Isaac is a child of a particular covenant, but there's multiple covenants in Genesis 17. And one of the covenants is the covenant of circumcision, which Ishmael is under. And that particular covenant is for the Most High to be with the seed of Abraham. And so you can see where he is circumcised before Isaac's even born.
Right. 12, 13.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And in Genesis 21, it literally says that God is with the lad, meaning Ishmael.
Right.
So there's other reasons, like there's no reason to look at Ishmael as if, or the lineage thereof, as if they're against the Most High, or their tradition, or the tradition is against the Most High, right? There might be people off on how they understand the Quran and whatnot, with the how they deal with the Hadith and whatnot, etc. Whatnot. But in terms of the Quran itself, just that book, there's nothing about that book that goes counter to what an Israelite should be standing on, right? In fact, that book literally tells you to remember your covenant, remember that you were chosen above the world, etc. Remember your Sabbaths, remember your Torah, remember your prophets, remember all that type of, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Give me a minute. My computer's about to die. All right. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. Give me a second.
So, brother, what do you think? I mean, in some way, I try to put myself in some of those brothers' shoes, being as though like I never was, I guess, involved in a Israelite camp. You know, I mean, my background is like a Baptist background, and then I accepted Islam. So I kind of, even though I've read some of their doctrine and stuff like that, I never was like a Hebrew Israelite as part of one of those camps. Is part of the difficulty with those brothers seeing the Quran, do you think is because of the pale Arab thing and the Hadiths and all that stuff, that what they traditionally believe Islam is? Do you think that's one of the reasons why they got issues with accepting the Quran?
Yeah, most of them was Christian 5 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? And so they're still washing off a lot of those concepts and whatnot. I talk to Israelites who still think that there's a rapture and all them type of things and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're definitely still Christian in a lot of ways. Or they'll cite like the church fathers as a reference. I'm like, okay, like you're still Christian in a sense, right? Like, so I don't begrudge that on anybody, right? But understanding that the Christian church looks at Islam as like the Antichrist religion and all them type of things and whatnot. So there's a lot of that people still have on that they don't even recognize is there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a homie give me a Quran when I was 16. It sat on my shelf for 10 years before I cracked that joint, because I thought it was going to have all kind of pedophilia and chopping off heads and things in it. And when I finally cracked it, I was like, yo, okay, this book is on point. You know what I'm saying? Particularly when I got into the language of it and whatnot, and got out the English translations and compared it to the Hadith, which I like. So when the dude gave me the Quran, I didn't even know there was a Hadith, right? So I just read the Quran. And then way later, I found out there was Hadith, and I was like, man, there's no authorization for these things in the Quran. What are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, the Quran literally talks against going against, or talks against taking Hadith after the Quran. Like, so what's going on? Like, so
Right.
It wasn't hard for me not to accept the Hadith, but I could understand why people, most people when they hear Islam, they hear like the Sunni form, and then they hear like a real adherence to the Hadith and what Islam sounds like when it's shaped by the Hadith. And in America,
let me ask you a question. When you said that you had the Quran, and then you start reading and you start seeing that it was good information and stuff like that. Did you join a particular sect of Islam? Or?
No, I just read the Quran.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to change the subject, but man, this is like the most peaceful conversation. Go ahead. Nobody talk about each other's mama. Nobody said.
I know that's right.
Yeah. Wait, it's only been what, 10 minutes, 13 minutes? I guess about
he said give it time.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes, y'all be cutting me out.
No, nothing like that.
No, I remember when the first time I seen the Quran, I was at a sister's house, and it was like up on the shelf, and I was I wouldn't say super Christian then, but I was definitely in the line of what my family taught me or whatever, and I went to go try to grab it, and she like moved my hand like oh, you gotta wash your hands first. And I was like in my head, man, nobody want to read that fucking book. Like, you talking, and it turned me off from it. Like, you know what I mean? I just was like, man, you know what I mean? But I think sometimes, some of that crazy orthodoxy can turn people away from the path. You know what I mean? When they kind of Because I wanted to see the book. I wanted to see, read it. Okay. Oh, I never seen the Quran before. You know what I mean? And that just kind of turned me off when she did that. You know what I mean? I understand, where she was coming from now. You know what I mean? But it's like, maybe she probably could have did it in a different way. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird because like my Quran is like it's all kind of messed up because I use it so much.
Beat up, yeah.
It's not clean at all. I'm sorry, it's not clean because I every day, every night. So sorry,
Yeah, I beat my books up too, bro. I have to get multiple copies of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But ironically, it is a verse in the Quran that say, those who are not pure will not touch it.
Yeah.
And so that is kind of like why they interpret that. But it's like when you think about it, anybody dirty can touch the book. So it's like, I done validated. I touched it. My hand's dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it mean the heart, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Facts, exactly. You can't just go rape a woman, then go do voodoo, then go touch the Quran, act like it's cool.
Exactly.
Like, no, bro, you dirty, all right. You dirty, all right.
Right.
But that just goes to show you, like, once again, saying it's almost like is a covering on the book to those that ain't supposed to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Brother Kentron, I remember one of the times when we first met each other, and you talked about before how some people is meant to believe certain things and some people is not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where did you kind of get some of the spiritual backing for that to prove that point or whatever?
In the Quran, where the basics of Allah guides who He wills, and Iblis is on. If you read in the Quran, Iblis he's laying in wait. He's on the path. So when you read the Quran and you become a Muslim, the next thing they give you is what? What's the next thing presented to you? After you read the Quran, you fall in love with the Quran, you cry, you do all that good stuff. The next thing presented to you is what? It's called the Hadith. Because Iblis is on the path. He is in the mosque. He is in the church, whatever you want to say, churches. He is religious. He is on the path waiting to give you something else after you fall in love with what you're supposed to fall in love with you. He's going to present Talmud. He's going to present other things. He's on the path. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. In some places, they give you the Hadith first.
Ooh.
Facts.
Well, I mean, do you know anybody that have like fell in love, like was converted based off Hadith? Like they say, oh man, I read this Hadith and I was converted. It's always like a story about how you know a person?
No, I said no, not that I know of personally.
Yeah, I never heard a person say, man, I read this Hadith and I just wanted to be a Muslim. I just cried because I read this beautiful Hadith. I never heard it. They always say, man, I read the Quran. I read the Quran and I fell in love. And then later they get the Hadith, and sometimes they get the Hadith and they're like, they're kind of forced in it because they think they're going against Prophet Muhammad. They think they're going against the messenger. So they want to be obedient. That's why they're like, okay, I'm gonna have to do this because I'm trying to be obedient. Someone don't really want to. And I mean, I don't think all hadiths are bad because there's some truth there's a little truth in what Paul said, but I don't have to die for it.
Well, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely truth in the hadiths. Being somebody who read a ton, volumes and volumes of hadiths, it's definitely some good in it, but it's almost like if you a person who don't get the scriptures, that's going to completely throw you off anyway. It's going to throw you off. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be clear if you got a solid foundation in the scriptures. When you're reading it, you're going to laugh at most of it.
Yeah.
Like this can't be true. Like this, you know what I mean? This sounds completely crazy from what I just read in the scripture. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And it's hard to debate, man. It's like you can't debate because like the person that's going against you, they can go find a hadith that's like crazy. and then you have to defend it. You have to defend like thousands upon. So what?
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. So we in a debate, man. It's almost impossible to win when they can just pull out hadiths and you don't even know where the hadith came from, and then you got to defend it. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Now so my friends try to tell other Muslims, like, like Christians and other people, they only really attack you on the hadiths. You know that, right? It's like, no, that's not what it is. They just hate Islam. I'm like, no, bro. Like, y'all be arguing that you can marry a 6 and 9-year-old girl or the prophet could or whatever, and that he's a perfect example, which would make it which would authorize that for everybody. But then you try to argue like, well, no, you can't do it now. Like, well, all right, but like, how am I supposed to believe you when there's kids getting married now, and they're pointing towards the prophet for doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
Exactly, man. Exactly. I mean, we could tell. You could look in nature, and you could tell that what they say when a woman gets her menstrual cycle, she's ready to go, right? But even in nature, when you look at a plum tree, plum tree can have a seed, but it's still not ripe.
Facts.
You know what I mean? It's still still not supposed to eat it.
Exactly.
You're still not supposed to eat it. It's ripe now. It's ripe. It has a seed. It might can reproduce, but you're still
it's not mature yet, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's not mature. It's not mature, even though it has a seed.
Right. See, that's the cool part too. Like, so in the Quran, it breaks down the difference between puberty and maturity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of people, they don't catch it from the Quran because they get the Hadith narrative or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And when you try to point out like the specificity of the Quran says, it's fully detailed. You know what I'm saying? Fully detailed. Yeah. All you have to do is go through the reiteration thereof and see what it actually says to you. But a lot of the Muslims don't do that. They're told, like, if they try to do that, it won't work. They're told that the Quran is fully detailed, but it's imperfect. It needs to be explained. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's cognitive dissonance right off the top. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if they need some more, they need to go to the earlier scriptures. That's where they need to go.
Exactly.
I'm from Philly, and like,
Philadelphia.
This is one of the capitals of jail nigga Muslim Islam, right?
Come on.
I mean, that Salafism, yo, my Lord, that's like the worst type of Islam that black people can follow. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, a dude one time, right? Me and this dude was talking, and I was saying, okay, well, it says in the Quran that Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein.
Yep.
Right? Because he was trying to say that, I was saying that, God is spirit of God is in you too. It could be, close to you, whatever. Because they believe the thing where if you in the bathroom, the angels don't go in the bathroom, all this stuff.
Right.
So anyway, so I said, okay, well, Allah stay close to you than your jugular vein. He said, stuck for the law. We can't interpret that we got to leave that to the scholars. I said, what? I said, but they tell you got to read the book. You saying you can't even, no, Aki, no, that we leave that up to the scholars. I said, okay, bro. He went right back to drug dealing after that too. So.
Oh no.
See, that's what happens with that strict stuff, right? There's no leniency. People get no love with that, right? So for real, so how are you wrong when it says in the Quran that when you die, your soul returns to Allah?
Right.
Right. Like, so if it returns to Allah, where'd it come from? It was one with them to begin with.
Right. And what if you die in the bathroom? Do the angels come in and take your soul?
No, right,
man. You're done, I guess. You're done.
They people that overdose.
You can commit all your crimes in the bathroom because ain't nobody never want to see you.
Wow. Oh no.
Exactly, man. Exactly. That's what they say, man. It's peaceful. Dang, we haven't cussed each other out yet, man. Maybe next time, right? I was ready though. I had my cuss words ready. I got them written down right here. I had them ready.
But so I guess to further these conversations, what do you think? Or this was on my mind. I said this to you the other day. Do you guys really think? Because I got a theory about what I think that there will ever like the whole. It was a reason why it was 12 tribes, right? In the beginning, it happened that way. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think in these times or in the end time there's ever going to be 12 tribes again, or is it like it'll just be a collective, and it'll just be a collective children of Israel and not really 12 tribes again?
So in the Quran, it definitely refers to. I'm gonna go ahead. My fault. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, this is what I'm just, this. I mean, me personally, I don't know. I mean, we don't know. Only Allah knows. But I think Allah knows who the tribes are. Like, dispersed of Judah. I think like a lot of Judah is dispersed. So a lot of Judah is in America, and in Brazil and other places like that. But I think Allah knows. But go ahead. Orthodox.
I will say Allahu Alam on like if we'll ever know. However, in the Quran, it definitely says that we were separated into tribes and whatnot. It doesn't say that was undone. But when I look at our scrolls and whatnot, it uses Israel and it uses Judah at the end. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, I don't know. Like so when we come together, it's going to be like one nation thing. So I have no idea. I know that it says that the Levites are going to be purified, right?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
So I know that as a tribe, that's still going.
Is that something in the
That's in Malachi 3.
Malachi 3.
Yep.
Okay.
We read that before. Malachi 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry. Was you done, bro?
No. Go ahead, bro. You good? Go ahead.
Like. I mean, it definitely is possible, right? I mean, Lord knows, what he gonna do, what's gonna happen, all of those kind of things. But it definitely seemed like so. At one point, the 10 tribes was together and Judah was separate, I believe, right? And they fought against each other.
Yeah, Judea.
Yeah, Judah and Benjamin, etc.
So it was Judah and Benjamin together, and the other 10 was together.
Right.
Right. So okay, they fought against each other. They split up. That caused even more confusion and disbursement. It just seemed like they have been spread to the four corners of the earth. Four corners of the earth, people been dropped off everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All over the place. It's like. And then in the Quran, they keep using terms like the children of Israel and the people of the book, stuff like that. It don't necessarily go specifically into those kind of tribal names per se. So I don't know. It just seemed to me that unless a miracle happened, I don't know.
Yeah, they're called Banu Israel or they're called the Yehudim. Like it's either Israel or Judah in the Quran. You know what I'm saying? I know in the Tanakh it does talk about like Ephraim, etc. There's a few tribal names that are mentioned as being identified coming out of certain things, but on a grand scale, like I just keep seeing this Israel Judah concept. You know what I'm saying?
So, but what you draw from that when you see like the differentiation between Israel and Judah?
I don't really see a differentiation, right? I don't think they should ever split up and whatnot. I feel like Judah, like it says, like they're supposed to be in rulership until everything gets fulfilled and whatnot, right? And so, to me, I see unification there. I don't see it being separate. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just the lineage of the kingship,
right?
Yeah, Judah has the covenant of David. And the Messiah comes out of Judah. That's what makes Judah so special. And Judah and all the other tribes, according to Moses' prediction and Jacob's prediction, that all the other tribes are supposed to bow down to Judah. Judah's the king, queen tribe.
Now, why is that? Huh? Why is that if Joseph was, I guess, the one that saved the tribes?
I mean, Joseph had the blessing at one point, but David came along, and David was like, he was great. And David.
Technically, Joseph was saved by Judah as well because his brothers wanted to kill him, and Judah was like, "Hey, let's just stick him down the well and sell him to these other people right quick." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's not kill him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But it's weird. You know how like the Atlantic slave trade is similar to what happened to Joseph?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? They did the same thing to us. Like they sold us off. The other tribes sold Judah off to the white man.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that's why Judah's so special. But Judah, in the Quran, Judah is, and in the Bible, Judah, when we evil, we evil. When we're good, we're evil. For real. Y'all read about Judah in the Quran?
What are you talking about?
Where it says Jews, wherever it says Jews, that's Yehuda. That's Judah.
Right, facts, exactly. Gotcha, exactly.
And it says some bad stuff about Judah.
Yeah, there's two groups. There's like, man, there's some you can trust, but man, the ones you can't trust, jeez.
Yes.
They're doing all kind of not.
We can see all you have to do is go to YouTube and you'll see Judah acting crazy.
No, and that's the cold part because it talks about like how quick they are to sell out. You know what I'm saying? The revelations that the Most High gave them, right, and switch them up and do whatever. Like it ain't like they just switch it up for a business. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo,
yeah. And they change the words out of their places. They be playing word games and wordsmiths and like, hey, you know, it says this. You know how the Hebrew Israelites be doing. They be switching up words. That 12 chart.
See, you know, like that's why I'm glad we're building it, right? Because like so, like I was saying the other night, like they got to face this idolatry concept. You know what I'm saying? They got to get unchristianized. They're still Christianites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're
still Christianites, and you can't point to one of our communities historically that were saying the things that they were saying. Like, yeah, like there was no Israelite community talking about a rapture, talking about Jesus died for the sins of Israel, etc. Blah blah blah. Like all the like that wasn't. Show me, I'll wait.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I run across though just randomly a lot of different brothers that kind of like just come to this conclusion of about Israelite Muslims. It seemed like people, well, I guess the people that Allah choose to guide, they kind of like just come across it from just reading, and it kind of just connect and start to make sense to them. And I wonder though, as we keep moving forward, with trying to build on these concepts, like what is the best way to? Because the good thing about it is that all of our people, well, for the most part, it's still the people of the book. We got the Hebrews, right? We got the people in Muslims and Islam, right? Then we got Christians, right? And then we got people like us who Muslim Israelites, right? That kind of see how you're supposed to bring the whole piece together. Right. So we can speak to our people out of all of those different languages that they are in. And even the growing numbers of us that's now is on the Egypt stuff or whatever, it's still even a connection there. You know what I mean? The contact with that. And even within the African spirituality, we can speak to them from out of that place too, because we was on the west coast of Africa as well. So it gives us, we got like a good fertile field to play with, but it's like, approaching each group with a specific message. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The beautiful thing about the Quran is that the Quran literally gives you the message to take to each group. And it gives you the clarifications that need to be made from each book or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So it's even right down to the atheist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Talking about like challenge them to create a fly from nothing if they can. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it got a message for everybody.
Right.
And it gives us a decorum on how to deal with people. Like if you're not to dispute amongst people of the book except in the best of ways, confirming what came down to them and what came down to you, etc. Whatnot. And on what to agree on and what not to agree on. And when they start fighting on certain things, like when to turn around, I'm like, all right, let you have that. I'll wait till you start talking about a whole nother narration, etc. Whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just go at it from a whole nother direction. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I think good points, good points, good points. This is where I'm at now. I really I think that there are people like us. There are thousands of people like us. We just got to find them and come together and congregate. I think we really don't even need to worry about the disbelievers. I think the Most High got it all of us. We're all
Yeah.
here. You know,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't teach Orthodox Moor. I didn't teach Kareem. Kareem was guided, and he had to go through his life and was taught, you know, through his life experience. And I think there's a lot of more people out there being taught through their life experience. And I think we need to focus on like-minded people, and they're out there, and just find them. Because
Yeah.
them
So here,
disbelievers, you're not gonna believe. You're not gonna convince them.
no, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you. I think I got a lag
So you
somewhere.
good? Go ahead. I was done.
No, what I think is it was interesting is that so a lot of people who claim to be Israelite, they're still trying to prove it to themselves. Like, how can I match this up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's the ones that are still in the New Testament, they're not quite figuring it out yet. And they're still trying to work at it. And I keep trying to tell my homies, I'm like, look, man, like if y'all just got into the Islamic sources or whatnot, right? Like y'all are so mad at like historically about Muslims that like they got all their stuff written down. Like so, for instance, I don't know if either one of you have read Golden Age of the Moor by Ivan Van Sertima, but in there there's an ethnobiographer named Dana Marnici, whatnot. I have like a long, like almost 7-hour interview with her on my channel and whatnot, to where she literally was like, yeah, you know, I'm writing a new book to where like I'm talking about the Arab and the East African origin of the Bibles and whatnot. And she's like, yeah, I pretty much I didn't mean to, but I proved the whole Israelite thing. I was like, word? Like, so I just got the book. Now I'm getting into it. And we even talked about it. Like, no, she deals with the migrations of the different tribes across Africa and whatnot. And so like she breaks that. Yeah, all she's doing is going through the Islamic sources, right? Because a lot of people, they're stuck on like the Roman and the Greek sources, not understanding that there's Islamic sources there at the same point in time. And so she makes the Islamic sources match, like, well, she fills in the gap with the Islamic sources, which fills in all the gaps. You feel me? Like they talk about, like, for instance, Israelite migrations from the 1st to 5th century, going from like from Yemen and East Africa all the way to North and West Africa and whatnot, right? And then who these tribes are, and then how the Arabs and the Muslims classified the tribes and all them type of things. Like it's well documented. You know what I'm saying? It's just most of our people aren't willing to touch the information because it comes from them dirty Arabs and blah blah blah. Do you know what I'm saying? And so so yeah, I'm working right now to do like a 4-part series with her where we break down the migration of, for instance, Torah only Israelites, Messianic Israelites, or Sabians or Christians and whatnot that were coming over from Ethiopia and Himyar and whatnot. Migrations of other Hebrew tribes that came through Africa and whatnot. Migrations of and also like for the Moors out there, because I kick it with the Moors and whatnot, like migrations of the people that they link with and whatnot. And so just so people can get a full understanding of what was happening and whatnot, because a lot of people don't know, they don't understand history from the 1st century to like the 7th century. You know what I'm saying? And there's a big gap that they missed there, and there's a lot of migrations that happen there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like friends.
Right. Have you all heard about the Timbuktu? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I knew that she had came out with the book. Was that available on Amazon, or you gotta?
No, you gotta get. Hold on real quick. I will drop the link in the chat for it, because it's from a specialty like scholar book printing joint. Like it literally has like a publisher's note in the book that you can't photocopy it, you can't screen share, you can't do show nothing from the book. Like it's a trip, bro. You can't reproduce it in no kind of way. And it's kind of expensive too, but like it's well worth it because it's extremely. It's when you're familiar with her writing, it's mostly sources that she gives you. She gives you very little opinion. It's mostly just academic stuff she's compiling for you. It's fantastic information. I just got my copy last night or whatnot.
What's the cost?
Woo, bro, I think it was like $270 something and change with when it came to shipping as well. Like $270 something. Like it's a pretty penny. I was like, yo, but yeah, I will definitely be doing interviews with her concerning the book and whatnot, to where we get to get into some of the information and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. They only printed like 1,000 copies right in front of whatnot too. So But it's a cold book, bro, because they get into she gets into the biblical names and the tribes of people who were in Arabia and East Africa who are still there, who still carry the names from the Bible and all kind of stuff. And she gets into she was telling me that she was mad because like they wouldn't let her put too many pictures in the book or whatnot because she wanted to show how everyone was still black, etc. or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, when we do interviews, I'll go back to her website so you can see what the people look like. Because on her website, she has a bunch of photographs of all these people and whatnot. So we'll get into the names, the places, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It should be real interesting for the people. That'll be on Debate Talk.
Man, I give him $5. I give him $5 to give me a couple of pages, man. I need some pages.
See, yeah, they're forcing me to have to do stuff to where I'm not like I'm gonna have to write articles now and just cite the sister. You know what I'm saying? Just cite large passages. You know what I'm saying?
Drop the link. Can you drop the link?
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now. As a matter of fact.
I gotta get ready to hop off though. But I guess we can, build. I guess texting a little bit later on the day or whatever. To figure out another time and then the topic or whatever.
Yeah, we just getting used to it, man. It's my first time, man.
Just shooting it, no doubt. But all right, assalamu alaikum, good brothers.
Walaikum salam. It's a pleasure to meet you, brother man.
All right, you too.
All right.
So I will leave the link. It's a long link. It won't fit in the comments. So I will leave it as an actual comment to the video.
Okay, that'll be cool. Appreciate that, man.
I'll put it in the back chat for you. It's in the private chat for you.
Yeah, I might buy it, man. That's some good information. How many pages is it?
It is a little over 300 and something, like almost 400 pages.
Oh, well, that's
it was trimmed down too because she was trying to make it 500. they were getting it.
Yeah, it's like 2 books.
Yeah, it's thick, bro, and it's got a lot of info in it, and it's really it's like maybe 4 pictures in that joint. They're not like of people; they're of like maps and whatnot. Like it's a lot of just literature, straight info. So I'm gonna have to work. I want to work with her to actually to make like some visual presentations to go along with it because for the price, like a lot of people won't be able to get it, but a lot of people need the information.
Okay. Right.
But it's a good book. Like I was thumbing through it last night. It's a fantastic book right off the top. Like it's got you could study it for years just to be able to understand the migrations. Like it's or the name to get familiar with the names and whatnot. Because the beautiful things is you get to know all the tribes around East Africa and Southern Arabia who have all the names of the Bible, and then from there you can actually just piece them together in terms of the migration and other work she's already done. So it's pretty much like what?
You heard what they're doing in Timbuktu?
I've heard where they're trying to destroy a lot of stuff.
Right, they're trying to destroy the books. What do you think is inside those books? You think proof that we're Israelite?
All of West African history, bro. Like so they have so what they found is that there's all kind of different tribal languages recorded there. It's just recorded in the Arabic alphabet. Mm-hmm. So like they could have like the Igbo language, they could have all like the Akan language, they could have all kind of different languages, but it's written in the Arabic script. So it has everybody's history. You know what I'm saying?
And they're trying to get rid of it, burning it.
Yeah.
Dang.
And we're not trying to fight for it because we don't see it as part of our tradition and whatnot. So for instance, right, a lot of people don't know that we as the Israelites were doing the majority of the translation into Arabic.
Yeah.
And once they figured, like I've been trying to tell my friends that, so like y'all need to understand, like that's your history. You need to go get like right now because like they're going to like erase it as much as possible. Because they don't like the people who are tearing it up don't even know it's there. They don't even know what it's saying yet. They have to go through the process of trying to read a cipher, etc. whatnot. And a lot of it's in Kufic Arabic without the dots. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. It's probably telling everything. It's probably telling West African history. It's probably telling Muhammad, peace be upon him, history. It's probably giving everything. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, did they preserve any of it? Did it destroy
Oh yeah,
all of it?
there's tons of it there still. There's tons of it there. Tons
Okay,
of
so
it.
they didn't destroy it all.
No. There's libraries in Morocco too. There's libraries all over the place in West Africa. But like, no. But the thing is, like Timbuktu is where there's the most of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know that the Israelites, the Israelite Berber tribes, etc., were sent. A lot of them were in Timbuktu. Like, it just is what it is.
Why haven't they translated it over to English?
Because first of all, like, how to say this, the Eastern Islamic world has always historically been at odds with the Western Islamic world. When I say Western Islamic, that means African Islamic, right? In a sense to where, like, so, like the Moors and whatnot were pretty independent. The Western African Muslims were pretty independent and whatnot. They didn't really take a lot of mess from the cats over in the East and whatnot. They could operate on them. They could afford to. Like when Mansa Musa went over to the East and whatnot, he was dropping so much gold. He messed up their gold market for a long time. You know what I'm saying? They were like, okay. They weren't doing that like that over there. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's always like so again, one of the aspects of the, like the Salafi Islam the brother was talking about and other forms of it is like, is to where there's almost like an Arab, supremacy concept that they kind of push, right? And so in that there's like the anti-African concept that they push simultaneously and whatnot. So in doing so, they try to claim all the best things they can from like the Moors in Africa and whatnot, without giving credit to the Africans themselves and whatnot, right? And so when it comes to the text over there in Timbuktu, they know it ain't talking about them, right? So they're not in a rush to go find out what it's saying, because whatever it's going to say is going to bolster the African Islamic world and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy is like it's probably gonna they probably have like all kind of manuscripts of voyages over to America, all kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. Got true history. Maybe one day we'll translate it ourselves. You know.
Yeah.
Or our children will do it.
They probably got all kind of Torahs in Arabic, Tanakhs in Arabic. You know what I'm saying?
Can we go over there and like look at it, or?
I have no idea. I gotta look into that.
Yeah, we need.
I'll tell you what, they're finding Torahs in they're finding Torahs in the Yoruba that were written in Yoruba, Aramaic, and Moroccan Arabic. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on. Are they like, how old are they?
Old, like we're talking like they go back to like the Moorish time periods and whatnot.
Dang. Wow. That's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing.
But a lot of people just don't know. Yeah, I do.
All right. So we'll just shut it down. This is the first live stream, first Islamic House of Israel live stream. I think it went pretty well. I think, you know, we didn't kill each other. We treated each other with respect. And you know, and we didn't I didn't advertise it or nothing. So, but next time we'll advertise it and we'll get some more people.
For the two people watching who's gonna watch later, like I'm going to be interviewing your man Kentron over on Debate Talk for You at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific tonight. So check that out. Talking about the same stuff we're talking about right now.
Exactly. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go to sleep.
Appreciate you, brother, man. You have a good one, man.
Yeah, I'll see you at 7. See you at 7.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. All right, y'all. This is the first Islamic House of Israel live stream. We will be back all the time. I'm not gonna say every day, but we're gonna start doing teaching, and then you'll get a chance to come in here, ask questions in the chat. So, peace to everyone who watches this live stream, and I'm out.